After faking his own death in a plane crash, a young billionaire named Johnson hires a team of 6 professionals to execute some criminals on their own as vigilantes. As the team is prohibited to use their names, each member is given a specific number, with himself being number 1, aka the billionaire. A former CIA officer is number 2, a hitman as number 3, a former thief, the Skywalker, as 4, a doctor as 5, and the driver, known as number 6. The team known as the Ghosts is currently on a mission to take down the dictator Rovak Almanov and his 4 generals ruling a Central Asian country, Turkestan. For the first step in their plan, one meets the general's lawyer in Italy and tries to convince him to side with them. He also accuses him of protecting the war criminals, but as the lawyer declines the offer, number 1 kills him before fleeing with his squad. While being chased by the lawyer's security team, number 2 gets shot by them, but 5 gives her first aid, while number 6 tries his best to outrun their followers. Soon, number 6 manages to take them to a safe place, but he gets killed getting impaled in a car accident. While they give him a small funeral, number 2 calls them his family, but number 1 disagrees, saying they're only a team on a similar mission with absolutely no personal connection to each other, and he throws 6's body into the sea. Meanwhile, a Delta Force sniper named Blaine serving in Afghanistan gets into a sensitive mission against the terrorists pretending to be UN members. Blaine requests his superiors to let him shoot them, but he does not get permission, which later results in a disaster as his entire team gets killed in the attack. Upon returning home, Blaine is approached by number 1, who claims to be aware of his survival guilt and offers him to join their team so he can play his part in making the world a better place, where no other person would have to bear the loss of his friends. After thinking about his offer, Blaine eventually accepts it and fakes his death by suicide and becomes a member of Ghosts, where he begins a new life as number 7. One takes him to their hideout in the California desert, where their team has created a setup to monitor their mission and to keep an eye on their targets. One also shares a few details of his life, telling him that he's invented a micromagnet capable of controlling several devices at once. He also explains their current mission of overthrowing Rovak Almanov along with his generals by staging a coup in Turkestan and shifting the regime to his democratic-loving brother Murat Almanov. The story takes us back when one witnesses the brutal effects of Rovak's dictatorship that made hundreds of people leave their homes and become refugees in their own country. The situation only gets worse with time, as even the camps are not safe from the airstrikes that constantly kill innocent people. Seeing the people suffering, one decides to step up and play his part. He begins following Rovak Almanov and even meets him after watching a play in the same theater in France. As they talk to each other at the bar, one asks Rovak if he believes in justice, but Rovak mocks him, saying that no such thing exists in reality, and it's all part of a fictional world. After talking to him, one meets a girl named Ariana, and the two of them spend the night together as he instantly likes her. At present, the team is unable to locate Murat, who is the key player in their plan to get rid of Rovak in Turkestan. It is revealed that Murat was captured by the CIA official number 2, who handed him back to the US government a few years ago. The team starts tapping calls from the 4 generals and learns about their upcoming trip to Vegas. On one's orders, they change into disguises to save themselves from facial recognition cameras in Vegas and start following their targets. The team later executes all 4 generals after getting information about Murat, who is imprisoned by Rovak at a penthouse in Hong Kong. After achieving their first target, 2 and 3 get involved with each other, making out in a hotel despite the group rules forbidding it. The next morning, 3 secretly visits a nursing home in Nevada to meet his amnesic mother, who mistakes him for his deceased brother. Although 3 assures her that he is a changed person and is working with a team that only does good deeds, she still thinks of him as a criminal. Soon, it is revealed that 3 killed his own brother, but instantly regretted his decision after seeing his daughter and finding out she had already lost her mother. This incident moved him, and he said goodbye to his old life before making a fresh start with the team. After a while, when he gets back into his car, he finds one already waiting for him. One scolds him for coming over to the nursing home and reminds him of the group rules that they cannot risk exposing their identities to anyone. 3 thinks one cannot understand his feelings because he does not have a mother like him, but one still advises him to be careful in the future. While discussing their plans for the upcoming tour to Hong Kong to get Murat out of the imprisonment, number 7 asks how the team got together. 4 discloses that he was a jewelry thief who was betrayed by his own team after they snatched a stolen necklace from him. They even tried to kill him, but one showed up and rescued him, and asks him to join the team. While discussing number 1, 4 also warns 7 that if he ever is left behind during any of their operations, 1 will never come back to save him because he only cares about the mission. The team then flies to Hong Kong, where Rovok is already visiting his captivated brother and threatening him not to get involved in any kind of activities against him. Upon arriving on site, 1 tells them that they have to break Murat free from his penthouse on the 90th floor of a tower located right in the middle of the city. He also briefs his team that they have to access the penthouse from an under-construction building right next to the tower, but they only have 15 minutes before the police arrive at the site. After finalizing the details, 4 climbs the tower, while 5 keeps an eye on the team's positions. They gradually begin moving forward after 5 distracts the security team by releasing some laughing gas, while the others make their way into the building. Meanwhile, a guy manages to inform the police. Although the team messes up a little with 4 getting stuck in the swimming pool and 3 getting affected by the laughing gas due to a leakage in his mask, they still manage to continue the mission. As 7 saves him from drowning after firing a gunshot at the pool, 4 breaks into the penthouse to reach Murat, and the police arrive outside the building. Sensing the seriousness of the situation, 5 warns them not to come downstairs. Finding themselves trapped inside the penthouse, Murat informs the team that there is a way out from the roof. As a lot of police officers rush into the building, 7 thinks of an unusual idea and shoots at the giant pool, releasing gallons of splashing water that distract the officers while buying his team enough time to get to the top of the tower. As they intend to send Murat out of the building through a zip line, he refuses to go because his fear of heights, which frustrates 3. He starts beating him up, but 1 intervenes and forces Murat to go. The team manages to go out, but 4 finds himself stuck inside the building with only 3 bullets in his gun. Knowing it's impossible to get out, he informs 1 about his situation, but urges him to proceed without him, while he tries to cover for them. Soon, 4 runs out of bullets and plans to escape by jumping outside, while the rest of the team flees from the site. The police officers chasing him intend to kill him with a grenade, but the explosion causes further trouble for them as the police department's cars chasing after the team get hit by the falling debris. Although involved in an intense car chase, 7 asks 3 to stop because despite 1's orders, he does not want to leave his teammate behind. This leads to an argument among the team members, but 7 still remains firm in his stance and shoots at the officer, eventually saving 4 from him. Meanwhile, Rovok grows frustrated after Murat's disappearance and hires a private detective to search for him as he thinks his brother must be trying to challenge his position. Although determined to help him out, the detective tells him they only have a photo of number 5, who was declared dead a few months ago, while there is no other clue as to who the rest of the team members are because they have left no trail to follow. After successfully setting Murat free of his captivity, number 1 and 7 get into another argument, as 1 scolds him for ignoring his orders during the mission. 1 explains that it is his philosophy that they should not care about the team members, but the successful completion of their mission. 7, who has already seen his friends die in front of him, disagrees with him, as he does not want to repeat the same mistake. 7 also challenges 1's rule to call each other by their numbers instead of their names, and reveals his name is Blaine, while others also follow telling their names to each other for the first time. After a while, the team flies to Turkestan where their plane is detected by the control tower, but they abandon it and disguise themselves as locals to remain undetected. Number 2 and 3 plant explosives in different areas, whereas 4 and 5 head to the control tower. Meanwhile, 1 and 7 get to the national television station where they trick an officer to disclose the details about how they control the transmission. The team's plan is to hack it during Rovok's upcoming address to the nation. While waiting outside to get a signal from their team, 7 questions 1 if he does not have any family at all, as he does not seem to care for anyone, but 1 intentionally changes the subject. Before finally executing their plans, 1 gathers the team and informs them that they may not be remembered for what they did, but they still need to play their part to change the world into a better place. As soon as Rovok begins his address, the team hijacks the transmission, giving Murat a chance to deliver his message to the entire nation, where he urges his people to stand up against his brother and to bring in a revolution to their country. His speech is well received by the people as they come out on the streets in solidarity, believing he intends to set the country free from Rovok's dictatorship. After that, the team detonates explosives implanted throughout the city, creating chaos. It forces Rovok to leave his palace, while Murat sneaks in to replace him. As Rovok's security team escort him to the yacht, 3 joins the fleet in an attempt to chase them, and although he gets into an accident, he still manages to kill his pursuers and rejoin the team. After a while, Rovok arrives on the yacht, while the team plans to stop it in the middle of the sea. 3 barges into the control room and stops the captain from starting the engines. Meanwhile, after finding himself stuck in this situation, Rovok orders his team to create an emergency by attacking sensitive departments like hospitals and schools. But Murat intervenes and stops the officers from following his orders. He further urges them to side with him instead, so they won't have to kill their own people anymore. At the yacht, Number 3 gets surrounded by Rovok's security team, but 2 distracts them by attacking an officer and giving 3 a chance to kill others. In the meantime, 1 uses his powerful magnet to incapacitate the guards, while the rest of them start searching for Rovok. The team proceeds forward, but once again, 4 gets stuck in a fight with the security officer. As they wait for him, Rovok leaves the yacht with his team, but instead of going after him, 1 saves 4, who's being brutally beaten by a guard. On his way, Rovok is lifted up by a helicopter, which he thinks is sent by his officers, but soon learns it's 1 and his team, along with his brother Murat. Rovok recognizes 1 after remembering his meeting with him at the opera in France, and learns that he's been after him for a while. Enraged by his ruthless actions, 1 intends to kill him, but quickly changes his mind, thinking he does not deserve an easy death. Soon, they drop Rovok into the middle of a refugee camp, where he is beaten to death by the mob. While flying over the city, the team witness the people's happiness after getting rid of a cruel ruler. Although they know no one will find out about their efforts in the regime change, the team members contentedly leave the country after the successful completion of their mission. After coming back home, the members go their separate ways until their next operation. 3 visits his mom at the nursing home while also taking 2 with him to meet her. 7 finally finds peace and throws his gun away, but keeps his last bullet as a souvenir. Murat is welcomed by the officers after becoming the new president of the country. 4 and 5 become good friends and go rock climbing together. 1 secretly follows Ariana and a young boy who is revealed to be his son, but he keeps his distance from them for their safety, as he does not want anyone to get to him by following his ties to them. Soon, he leaves a secret letter for Ariana in a locker before rejoining his team. If you enjoyed that recap, I got a good feeling that you'll like this one too. Click on the video on your screen for more.